All right, what's going on, everyone? Listen, I've been talking a lot about the election, and I've been on Facebook. People have been giving me all kind of, you know, arguments and feedback about my political views. And trust me, normally I don't like to get involved in political debates because I know how personal it gets. I've had people, uh, you don't want to know, and it's kind of funny because I'm not doing this because I believe in being a Republican or believe in being a Democrat. I believe in being a free thinker, someone who could look at some facts, some information, and make a good logical decision that actually is for the betterment of not only me, but other people. And that is why I've taken a position, to support Trump. And what's crazy is I got a lot of other black people that feel the same way, but they haven't come out and said it. They're like, man, I don't want to, because see, they know that if they come out and say it, then there's a large majority of African Americans that's going to persecute them, call them sellouts, call them Uncle Toms, and so on and so forth. So they keep it kind of to themselves. But you'll be surprised how many black people understand what I'm saying, feel the same way. I want to just drop something on you here as we go into this last debate. All right, first things first. You ever heard of outward sin versus inward sin? All right. When people make a judgment, normally they make a judgment based off of what they see, what they can hear, what they can smell, what they can taste. That's the easy stuff to judge and come up with an opinion. The hard stuff to judge is a person that doesn't show you their cards, their hand. A person that has hidden sin on the inside. So you hear people in church, if you're a church going person, you hear them in church all the time like, Sister so-and-so was seen in the club the other day. Brother so-and-so was smoking a cigarette in the parking lot and all that stuff. Whereas the same person might be saying it, in their heart they're going, I am upset that she got a brand new car. Ugh. And she got married before me. Or this dude, man, he think he better than me because he can preach better than me. All of that stuff that goes on the inside, people can't see. So we are quick to make judgments on what goes on the outside and say this person is this, and that. Well, when I look at this election, it's crazy because, first of all, people started off and they said all kind of stuff about Trump. They were like, he don't like Mexicans. He don't like Muslims. He's a racist. All this stuff. And most of the stuff that I've heard people say is usually stuff that's regurgitated from liberal media. It's never the accurate statement. It's never put in the right context. It's just the media said it. And then they will look at Trump's very direct demeanor or his crass, tone and things like that. And they say, look at him. He doesn't look presidential. Look at him. How are we supposed to have a president that, and they do all of that stuff. And those are the things that you can see. All right. But then what's awesome about what recently has happened is when you look at Hillary Clinton, very poised, been doing this for years, comes on stage. She knows just when to smile. She knows just how to hold her hands. She knows just how to talk to the people. Thank you for asking that question. That's a very good question. And I feel that, and all of that stuff, she knows how to do that. But I am so glad that WikiLeaks have revealed what's in her heart. See, for those that are getting caught up by the smoke and the mirror, see, a great magician will get you to believe something by making you distracted by something else. This way, you look away from the most important thing while they trick you. Hillary Clinton is getting everybody to focus on Donald Trump and his personality and all the crap that they have planted through social media, through the mainstream media, to paint a narrative about him when in reality, she's worse than he is on the inside. And WikiLeaks have released this, and all of these emails are like a peek into her heart. It's allowing the public to see what's really in Hillary Clinton's heart, how foul and manipulative she is, and how her real plan for the U.S. is not what she says it is. When she says in her emails that bringing 500,000 refugees over here would possibly be dangerous and there is no way to properly vet them, but yet says to the public that we want to help them. We want to bring them over here because I saw a little boy on the news and it was horrible. Only because Donald Trump said, what are you doing? That's stupid. We shouldn't bring everybody over here knowing that we can't vet them. We got to look out for America. Well, to win an election, she flips what he says and says, you know what? That's divisive. That doesn't bring us together. Our country is made up of a melting pot. Where he's going to know it's smart. But she'll make smart sound like it's bigotry or it's division or it's racist and so on and so forth. But in her heart, she believes something totally different. Just like the WikiLeaks emails show that she said, I got one personality for the people and one personality for you all. Just like Donald Trump exposed her when she tried to bring up his taxes and said, you know, and you didn't pay taxes for all these years and you took these tax breaks. And he just straight up said, yeah, I did. Just like all of your friends who take advantage of the same tax codes and so on and so forth. So my point is, you're getting a chance to look inside of her heart. And that's important for me as a voter. And it should be important for you. So go back to the drawing board before you say, Donald Trump is this, Donald Trump is that. I want you to really think about who you're about to elect. We have been given the opportunity to see how corrupt she is on the inside. Now, people complain all the time about corruption. America's so corrupt, the system is rigged, the system is fixed. Well, when you look at all the evidence and see that it's fixed and rigged, why would you vote for somebody to get into office that you know is crooked and continue that same type of organization and system? That right there is silly to me. That is the definition of insanity. When you say, you know what? Something hasn't worked, something is broken, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it in place. You should fix the things that are broken. Whether you like Donald Trump's personality or not, doesn't even matter. It is what he represents. This is going to be the last chance for America to elect someone that is not a part of that system. And that is why Republicans and Democrats and the media are all fighting him. It has nothing to do with he's a racist, he's this and that. All of these years Donald Trump been in entertainment, nobody ever came out talking about this man's a racist. All of those years he's been in entertainment, you ain't never seen the tabloids talk about Donald Trump raped 7 people, he's this and this and that. None of that. All of a sudden he runs against the most corrupt woman right now that we know of in politics, and all this stuff just comes out of nowhere. You know, and then we get 2 videos that are released. And here's President Obama getting on TV the other day. Well, what needs to happen is Donald Trump, he needs to just stop whining about the elections being fixed. Well, first of all, you need to stop lying, because President Obama, thanks to the WikiLeaks emails, said that he didn't know nothing about her server. You know, nothing about her emails until it came out that day. Well, WikiLeaks revealed that he did know about it. They tried to cover that whole situation up. And you can't tell me that we shouldn't be concerned about a rigged system when it's been revealed that all of the media is on her side. They're painting false narratives about Donald Trump. And it also revealed that all of those riots and violence that was taking place at Donald Trump's rallies, that everybody was swearing up and down, it was because of his rhetoric. Oh yeah, Donald Trump be encouraging violence at this place. Donald Trump, man, he be up in there kicking black people out. Come to find out, it was all orchestrated by the Democrats, by Hillary Clinton and her clan of goons. And y'all all bought it. Except I didn't buy it. Now, first of all, I want to go on record right now. Many people heard me say, hey, I think they're planting people in there to start violence and then catching it on tape and making it seem like it's Donald. So when you look at this, is that the type of system that you want to keep in place? Black, white, Puerto Rican, Latino, whatever. You should never support a system that's that corrupt. And then later on, after she get in power and you're complaining about nothing's been done. I was talking to a black man the other day, and you know, sometimes when you're around other African Americans, you know, there's that fear, like, oh shoot, should I bring up politics? You know, I don't want my politics to be judged, and oh, you a sellout. Well, somehow politics came up, and the guy looked around over his shoulder like he was scared. You know, like, hey man, I'm voting for Donald Trump, man. You crazy if you vote for Hillary. I was like, what? Me too. And we start talking. He said, man, I never say this in public. He said, but black people They all went out and voted for Donald Trump. I'm sorry, voted for Barack Obama. And he didn't do nothing for black people. And he said, so what makes you think that Hillary Clinton is going to get in there and do anything for us? Hillary Clinton is more interested in becoming president for her legacy versus helping the people. And it showed in those WikiLeaks emails when she's willing to put us at risk when it comes to national security, all for an election. When she's willing to cheat and create false narratives about a candidate to win and come up with all kind of manipulative ways to cover up her track and her corrupt system that's been in place for years to win, and yet people will complain that the system is broke. Donald Trump, you will never see another candidate. Now I'm not saying he's perfect, and I'm not, justifying some of his tone and so on and so forth, but he's real. And he has nothing to lose. He's not a politician. His money was made by him, not off the backs of the people, not off of being or having the ability to create laws that funnel your pockets and to create backdoor deals, to create trade agreements that profit you and all your boys. And for some reason, you and your boys don't want him in office. See, and so my thing is, look at it like that. It's bigger than just Donald Trump. It's what he represents. He represents someone that is not a part of them. Really, he's in the category of himself. He might be running on the Republican ticket, but really he ain't Republican or Democrat. He's more so a peoplecrat. It's everybody. He's representing the hard-working American that don't want their taxes to be taken by people who are making laws that benefit them. People who are setting in place systems that funnel money all back to them. And so when you think about that, this is it, man. Nobody else is going to come along in the next, you best believe the two full-blown gangs that's running Washington are never going to let another candidate that can come through the system and the ranks, that ain't part of their little good old boys or girls club, can come up the ranks, don't have to rely on their money, don't have to rely on their influence, their power, don't have to rely on getting money from donors, don't have to pay back favors, none of that. Who else is going to come along with that type of freedom? Everybody else is going to be a puppet, and then you're going to have to wonder who they really are, what they really mean. And I love the fact that he's not afraid to call out none of them. People in his own party, he's like, man, he's a punk, he's a sellout. This dude, he ain't got no backbone. And they hate that about him because he ain't going to hold his tongue. They're hoping he's going to take the political route and be like, well, the Speaker of the House is doing what's best for the party because, no, he's like, man, the Speaker of the House should be calling me, telling me, hey, good job, man. But instead, he's trying to save his own neck. He's trying to save the rest of the guys. He's telling everybody run for the hills, And then when we get appointed, a Supreme Justice Court that's just making up whatever they want to make up and taking away all kind of freedom of speech and freedom of whatever, then people going to be up there going, what happened? What happened is we all got tricked. So do not fall for Hillary Clinton's bewilderment. That's all it is. You're about to be bewildered by this person, and it's right in front of your eyes. All of this overwhelming evidence of how deceitful, how tricky she is, how many schemes and plots and connections she used to get to where she's at and stay where she's at. It is all about power. It is all about creating a narrative. And he who controls the press controls the narrative. Almost 100% of the press are all in her back pocket. They're donating to her. So don't ever think that when you watch CNN or you read the New York Times or the Washington Post, it's going to have on there, Donald Trump is a great guy. He done something, but his politics is great. His logic is awesome. It's going to always be, this dude said, and if you don't research it and you rely on a biased media, you're going to buy into all of that garbage. So, and then, the whole thing about all these ladies that just came out, you didn't see that unfolding. I'm going, they made it seem like we didn't even have the right to question how all these people just drops out of the sky out of nowhere, like, yeah, he did something. And then they start getting debunked one by one. You don't even hardly hear about it anymore, and they had everybody running around. You're about to elect somebody who's a sex offender. He's and I'm going, are all these people who just put a label on this guy with no proof, no evidence, going to come out and say, oops, sorry? When you start saying that somebody's a a racist or somebody's a sex offender. Those are big terms. So you better back them up. You can't just throw them out there and don't give a person a chance or time to defend themselves. But that was the plot. That was the plan. Throw it out there, create the narrative. People will buy into it because they trust the media. They're so honest. They trust the media. And before they can really get the real truth, they done made a vote. They done put their ballot. That's all it was designed to do, is serve a purpose. Because I guarantee you, after this election, if Hillary win, you ain't going to see her out there campaigning on behalf of these women that she claimed Donald Trump assaulted or whatever. Yeah, they're going to be things of the past. Yeah. Speaking in which, it is real funny how everybody wanted to persecute and crucify Donald Trump when it came to them thinking that he did some inappropriate behavior with women. But yet, Gangster Hill, or like Donald Trump calls her, crooked Hillary Clinton,